They called him a rebel, a party animal, and a lost cause. Yet when he stepped onto the pitch, Radja Nainggolan was a force of nature, rejected by youth academies, haunted by personal tragedy, and written off by critics. His life was an absolute rollercoaster. But against all odds, he became the heart and soul of every team he played for. So, how did he do it? And just how much controversy did he face along the way? To understand the man behind the story, we have to go back to the beginning. Radja Nainggolan was born in Antwerp to a Belgian mother and Indonesian father. His early life was anything but easy. His father abandoned the family when he was a child, leaving his mother to raise him and his siblings alone. Growing up in Kiel, a tough neighbourhood in Antwerp, exposed him to early hardship, forging the resilience that would define his career. Football wasn't just a game for Nainggolan, it was survival. The streets shaped his never surrender mentality and his defiant attitude. "I have fought for everything I have obtained," he once said, a testament to his humble beginnings. Despite his talent, Belgian youth academies hesitated to take him in. His strong-willed nature and rebellious streak raised doubts about whether he could be disciplined for professional football. His outspoken personality only added to the concerns, but rejection only made him more determined. Nainggolan never shied away from speaking his mind, a trait that often landed him in hot water. He once stated, "I don't care what people think of me. I live my life the way I want to." This unfiltered honesty, while endearing to some, made him a divisive figure in the football world. Despite his raw talent and undeniable passion for the game, Nainggolan faced numerous setbacks in pursuing a professional career. Several top youth academies in Belgium rejected him, citing concerns about his discipline and questioning his aggressive playing style and strong-willed personality. However, what others saw as a flaw, Nainggolan viewed as his defining trait, his individuality. He was never one to conform to the rigid expectations of the footballing establishment. He always stood out from the crowd. Eventually, Nainggolan found an opportunity at Germinal Beerschot, a club known for developing young talent. Then, at just 17 years old, Radja was determined to make football his career. A life-changing opportunity presented itself, a move to Italy. He made the bold decision to move. He left behind his family in Belgium to join Piacenza in Italy's Serie B. It was a difficult step for a teenager who had never lived outside his home country. Nainggolan saw it as an opportunity to prove himself on a bigger stage. Moving to Italy was a leap of faith that came with its fair share of challenges, but it also marked the beginning of his transformation. His time at Piacenza laid the foundation for his professional journey, setting the stage for his eventual breakthrough into top-tier football. But just as his career was beginning to gain momentum, life reminded him that success on the field could never shield him from the hardships off the pitch. Nainggolan's journey was never going to be straightforward. The battles he faced in football were only a slice of the challenges he would encounter in life. A personal tragedy was waiting to challenge him like never before. And everything he worked for was suddenly at risk. Adapting to life in Italy was anything but easy. Nainggolan faced an uphill battle, but he succeeded, and in early 2010, the opportunity of a lifetime came. A move to Serie A side Cagliari. It was exciting, it was a challenge, but tragedy struck. In 2010, after a battle with cancer, his mother, Lizzie Bogarts, died. This was a devastating blow for Radja. His mom had given her life for him and his brothers and sisters. But he could not let his start at Cagliari be derailed. Instead of letting the tragedy derail his career, Nainggolan used it as motivation to work even harder. Determined to honour his mother's sacrifices, he pushed himself to succeed in football, turning his grief into a driving force. By the end of his first season, his flair, passion, and raw talent was beginning to shine. For his mother, who was his rock growing up, he tattooed angel wings on his back in her memory, dedicating his career to her. Nainggolan's arrival at Cagliari in 2010 was a turning point in his career. Moving from the second tier of Italian football to Serie A was a significant step, and many questioned whether he could handle the pressure and demands of the top division. The speed, physicality, and tactical complexity of Serie A were unlike anything he had faced before, and critics were quick to cast doubt on his ability to adapt. But if there was one thing Nainggolan thrived on, it was proving people wrong. At Cagliari, he found an environment that embraced his relentless energy and fighting spirit. The club, located on the island of Sardinia, may not have had the prestige of Italy's footballing giants, but it had a passionate fan base that valued hard work and dedication, qualities that perfectly aligned with Nainggolan's ethos. It didn't take long for him to win over the supporters. His toughness, tireless running, and willingness to throw himself into every challenge earned him the nickname Il Ninja. By this point, Nainggolan had made it. He had carved out a place for himself in Serie A, silencing the doubters. But with prominence came scrutiny, and some of his more rebellious traits became impossible to ignore. His open admission to being a smoker raised eyebrows, an unusual habit for a professional athlete. This drew criticism from fans and media alike. Yet, true to form, Nainggolan refused to apologise. "I'm not ashamed because I smoke," he stated defiantly. "I do it and I'm not hiding it. I know I should set an example, but I'm a footballer, not a monk." Nainggolan never shied away from controversy. He embraced it. He lived football on his own terms, unapologetic and unbreakable. His rise in Italy was a testament to his mental toughness. Personal tragedy, rejection, criticism, none of it stopped him. He fought for everything. Cagliari was the perfect proving ground, a club that valued grit and heart, just like him. From the moment he arrived in 2010, he was a force in midfield, breaking up attacks, surging forward, winning battles. His raw energy combined with technical skill made him indispensable. He quickly became a regular, helping Cagliari avoid relegation in his first season. By his second, he wasn't just a promising talent, he was the team's backbone. His first Serie A goal, a long-range rocket against Bologna in 2011, was a statement. The fans took notice, so did bigger clubs. Over 4 seasons, Nainggolan made 131 appearances, scored 7 goals, and became the engine of the team. His stats weren't flashy, but his influence was undeniable. He controlled games, dictated tempo, and embodied Cagliari's fighting spirit. By 2012 to 2013, he had reached another level. Across 34 matches, he added 2 goals and 2 assists, including a clutch winner against Sampdoria. Cagliari finished 11th, a respectable position for a team of their stature. Nainggolan had proven himself in Serie A. Now it was only a matter of time before a bigger club came calling. Off the pitch, Nainggolan's personality made him a larger-than-life figure in Sardinia. His connection with the fans went beyond football. They saw him as one of their own, someone who gave everything for the shirt and never backed down from a challenge. Whether it was his iconic mohawk, his tattoos, or his candid interviews, Nainggolan embraced his individuality and wore it with pride. He became a cult hero at the club, embodying the fighting spirit that defined both him and Cagliari. But while the fans adored him, his relationship with the media was far more complicated. Nainggolan often accused journalists of exaggerating his off-field behaviour, painting him as reckless rather than passionate. He resented the scrutiny, believing he was unfairly targeted compared to other players. "I'm judged more for what I do off the pitch than what I do on it," he once stated in frustration. No matter how well he performed, controversy always seemed to follow, but that only added to his legend. Nainggolan's final season at Cagliari saw him continue to deliver standout performances. In the first half of the season, he played 17 matches, scored 2 goals and provided 1 assist. His powerful strike against Torino in October 2013 was a reminder of his attacking prowess, and it became clear that his time at Cagliari was nearing an end. In January 2014, AS Roma secured his services on an initial loan deal with an option to buy, marking the next chapter in his career. Nainggolan's dominance at Cagliari didn't go unnoticed. In 2014, AS Roma came calling, a club with Champions League ambitions, a city where football was a religion. The pressure was immense, but Nainggolan thrived under it. Roma fans demand warriors, not just players. They expect you to fight for the badge, and from the moment Radja stepped onto the pitch, it was clear he was built for this. At Roma, he evolved into one of Europe's best box-to-box midfielders. His relentless energy, fearless tackles, and thunderous long-range shots made him indispensable. Whether breaking up attacks or surging forward, his presence was felt everywhere. The fans adored him. His aggressive, no-nonsense style embodied everything Roma stood for. By 2016 to 2017, Nainggolan was at his peak. It was his third season at the club and the first under manager Luciano Spalletti. Roma had finished in the top 3 for 3 straight years. They even ended the previous season on a 16-game unbeaten streak. But silverware? Still out of reach. That season, Roma had one of the strongest squads in Serie A. Szczęsny in goal, Rudiger and Vermaelen at the back, De Rossi, Paredes and Nainggolan controlling the midfield. Up front, El Shaarawy, Dzeko and a rising superstar Mohamed Salah. This was their moment. They were winning games, sitting near the top of the table, but could they finally break the drought? Could this be the year Roma lifted the Scudetto? The second half of the season started strong, with back-to-back 1-0 wins over Genoa and Udinese, the latter secured by a clinical Nainggolan strike. A narrow victory against Cagliari followed, but Roma stumbled with a 3-2 defeat to Sampdoria. They rebounded emphatically, thrashing Fiorentina 4-0 with Nainggolan and Dzeko both on the scoresheet. February saw continued dominance, including crucial wins over Crotone and Torino. One of the season's standout moments came against Inter Milan at the San Siro, where Nainggolan delivered a stunning brace in a 3-1 victory, reinforcing Roma's title credentials. However, the dream took a hit in the crucial derbies. A 2-1 loss to Napoli in the Derby of the Sun exposed defensive vulnerabilities, followed by a tough 3-1 defeat to Lazio. These setbacks cast doubt on their ability to keep pace with Juventus. By April, the title race was tight, with Juve maintaining a narrow lead. Before their showdown, Roma kept the pressure on with emphatic wins over Bologna 3-0, Pescara 4-1 and AC Milan 4-1. With Juventus eyeing a 5th consecutive title and a squad stacked with world-class talent, Roma's hopes rested on their upcoming clash. A victory would keep their Scudetto dreams alive. As the fixture approached, the question lingered, could Roma finally break their title drought and clinch the Scudetto, or would their efforts fall short once again? The stage was set for the fight against the Old Lady. Sunday evening in Rome at the emblematic Stadio Olimpico. 53,000 people in attendance. Things went sour very quickly. In the 6th minute, after a corner, the Roma defence scrambled and allowed Kwadwo Asamoah to shoot from outside the box and hit the left post. Juventus exploited the defensive mistakes that plagued Roma all season. In the 21st minute, centre-mid Storaro lobbed a ball to Higuain and easily passed it to Lemina inside the box for a tap-in. Roma was now down by 1 goal early on in the game. A quick bounce back is what they needed now. In the 25th minute, they secured a hard-fought rebound inside the box thanks to Daniel De Rossi. Now tied, the game was anybody's, but Juve kept pressing and shooting. Roma's chance came in the 56th minute, thanks to a beautiful finish by El Shaarawy. Then, in the 65th minute, on the right side of the box, Mohamed Salah and Radja Nainggolan were on the same wavelength. Salah held the ball, waited for Radja to be in the perfect position inside the box, and thanks to a clean pass, Nainggolan was able to smash it into the back of the net. Roma 3, Juve 1. The title race was alive. This goal represents Nainggolan's tenacity, leadership and sheer determination. It's what made him a standout performer for Roma and every club he's played at. Whether it was scoring crucial goals, orchestrating plays from midfield or rallying his teammates, he embodied Roma's fighting spirit. The season ended with Juventus number 1 and Roma number 2. They might have not won this time, but the next season they had a shot at something bigger, the Champions League trophy. During the 2017-2018 season, Roma proved they were a team to be feared despite their lack of Serie A titles. Their European campaign was nothing short of spectacular, and Nainggolan was at the heart of this dream run. But while he was leading the charge on the pitch, controversy was never far behind. 2017 had barely begun when Nainggolan found himself at the centre of a scandal. On New Year's Eve in 2017, he posted a live video on Instagram where he was seen drinking, smoking and using foul language while celebrating with friends. The footage quickly went viral, sparking outrage among fans and the club's hierarchy. AS Roma responded swiftly, fining him for his behaviour and dropping him from the squad for their next match. It was an embarrassing moment at the start of a year filled with Champions League aspirations, but Nainggolan, in typical fashion, faced the backlash head-on. "I'm sorry for what happened. I had a bit too much fun on New Year's Eve and I made a mistake," he admitted. While the apology helped smooth things over, the incident was a reminder that his rebellious streak, the same one that had defined his career, could also land him in trouble. Roma topped their Champions League group, setting up a round of 16 clash against Shakhtar Donetsk. The first leg in Kharkiv was tough. Roma took the lead but fell 2-1. Back in Rome, the atmosphere was electric. The fans knew they needed something special. Quarterfinals brought an even greater challenge: Barcelona. A nightmare first leg at Camp Nou saw Roma overwhelmed, conceding own goals and falling 4-1. Dzeko's late strike provided a lifeline, but the odds were against them. Then came the night that would go down in history. The second leg at the Olimpico was the perfect storm. Roma needed 3 goals without conceding. Could they pull off the impossible? Nainggolan, playing in an attacking role, was up against Barcelona's elite, but he held his ground. Dzeko struck early in the 6th minute, igniting belief. Pressure mounted on Barcelona. In the 58th minute, De Rossi slotted home a penalty, 2-0. The dream was alive. In the 65th, Nainggolan nearly scored the goal of his life, a flying half volley denied only by the keeper. Rome held its breath. Then, in the 82nd minute, the moment arrived. Kostas Manolas, the man who had scored an own goal in the first leg, rose above the Barcelona defence and buried a header. The Olimpico erupted. Roma had done it. A 3-0 victory, 4-4 on aggregate. They advanced on away goals, completing one of the greatest comebacks in Champions League history. But the journey wasn't over yet. Roma and Radja still had something left in the tank. The semi-finals, Liverpool, Mohamed Salah, the hardest match of the season. Anfield was a fortress and Roma walked straight into the storm. The match started and the floodgates opened. Salah struck twice in the first half, Mane in the 59th, Firmino in the 61st, then again in the 69th. 5-0, Roma were drowning. The only question was, where is Roma? The only voice cutting through the chaos? Radja Nainggolan. He was relentless, barking orders, rallying his teammates, refusing to surrender. He wouldn't stop running until the final whistle. Then, in the 81st minute, he saw his chance. From deep in his own half, he sent a pinpoint long ball to Dzeko.
To go to Dzeko!
Boom! 5-1, a pulse. Minutes later, the ball landed at Nainggolan's feet just outside the box. He unleashed a thunderbolt, deflected by a Liverpool defender's hand. Penalty. Perotti buried it. 5-2. It wasn't enough, but Roma had one more shot at redemption. Back in Rome, they needed a miracle. By half-time, they were 7-3 down on aggregate, and hope was slipping away. Then came the push. Dzeko scored in the 52nd. The Olimpico roared. They kept coming, chance after chance. Time was running out. 80th minute, Nainggolan, 25 yards out, bang! Bottom left corner, 7-5. 92nd minute, another penalty. He converted, 7-6. Too little, too late. Roma's Champions League run was over, but Nainggolan had left everything on the pitch. Nainggolan's time at Roma ended in controversy. After 4.5 seasons of warrior-like performances, the club's management, particularly sporting director Monchi, pushed him out. Nainggolan later claimed his move to Inter Milan in 2018 was forced upon him, a bitter end to his beloved stint in the capital. But at Inter, things didn't go as planned. His arrival was supposed to be a statement signing, yet behind the scenes, trouble brewed. He clashed with coach Luciano Spalletti over disciplinary issues, and by December 2018, the club suspended him for repeatedly arriving late to training. His performances were inconsistent, and despite flashes of brilliance, his time at Inter felt like a battle he could never fully win. By 2019, they had seen enough. He was loaned back to Cagliari. For Nainggolan, the return to Sardinia wasn't just about football. His wife was battling cancer and he wanted to be by her side. It was a move that earned him sympathy and respect. But even then, controversy followed. He openly criticised Inter Milan for their lack of support during his personal struggles, further straining his relationship with the club. His fallout with Inter wasn't his only battle. The 2018 World Cup should have been the pinnacle of his international career, but Belgian coach Roberto Martinez had other plans. Despite being one of the best midfielders in Serie A, Nainggolan was left out of the squad, with Martinez citing tactical reasons. Nainggolan didn't buy it. He doesn't like me, and that's fine, but don't tell me it's for tactical reasons, he fired back. The snub was the final straw. Feeling disrespected, he retired from international football on the spot. I don't fit into their system because I'm not a yes man, he later said, criticising the Belgian Football Association for favouritism. Fans were outraged, believing Belgium had left behind one of their best players over personality rather than performance. But Nainggolan had never been one to conform. His entire career was built on defying expectations, playing by his own rules. That same defiance, however, often led to clashes with coaches, where Eusebio Di Francesco at Roma, Spalletti at Inter, and Martinez with Belgium each had their issues with him, whether due to his off-field lifestyle or his outspoken nature. Nainggolan's love for nightlife was no secret. He was unapologetic about his late-night partying, insisting it
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got.
video here.